Hello, uneducated businessman here. You got to ask yourself a question today. Are you a leader or are you a follower? Do you want to be a leader or do you want to stay a follower? That's the dilemma for most people, I think. A lot of people are following. A lot of people are going through the motions at the moment. A lot of people are sat indoors on furlough. They're doing the absolute bare minimum, whilst there's people like myself, there's people who are getting out there and upskilling, educating themselves and learning how to move and drive forward in the modern world and do well as things change. And the world is changing. The world is changing drastically. It's becoming unrecognizable, and it's going over the next few years. It's going to be more and more unrecognizable. Technology is increasing at such a speed we can't even grasp how fast things are going. Industries are going to completely change over the next few years. And ask yourself this question: if you want to thrive in life, do you want to be the guy who's sitting indoors on furlough doing nothing, not educating themselves, or do you want to be the one who educates himself, herself, and moves forward? Now, for me, I want to educate myself. I want to move forward. I want to learn as much as I possibly can about business, about how the world is changing, about how new opportunities are going to come, because I want to take advantage of everything. And when I take advantage of things, it's invariably because I've been that leader. I've seen it. I've created the vision. I've made a plan, and I've got other people around me to buy into what I want to do, and I've pushed forward with it. I've not sat indoors watching Netflix. I've not wasted my time doing nothing, getting paid for doing the bare minimum. I've done that in the past. I'm not going to lie. In my 20s, I probably did the bare minimum, or certainly early 20s when I left school. I didn't really want to work. I didn't really want to be an employee. I hadn't found what I was looking for, so I just did the bare minimum. And I watched other people move way ahead of me while I stayed back here, because I didn't put the effort in. I wasn't asking the right questions. I didn't have the right attitude. And in this video, I want to talk about the questions you need to be asking and what you need to be doing if you're a leader at the moment, and what you need to be doing if you want to become a leader. So you have to plan for it. You can't just, as I said in the other videos, understand your values and make a vision and then do nothing. You've got to plan. How are people going to understand your vision? How are people going to buy into your vision? And if your vision is just for you at the moment because you're not in a leadership role, how are you going to make that vision come to fruition if you want that leadership role? And it's very simple. It's not that difficult. Honestly, it's really, really easy to do. I managed to do it when I started to be interested in other people. And this is key. You have to be interested in other people. And more importantly, you have to be interested in their success. If you're not, and if you are just purely focused on yourself, or you're the kind of guy that's just sitting around taking it easy, putting their feet up and expecting a wage, it's never going to happen for you. You're never going to progress up. You're always going to stay at that level, or you're going to decline. It's as simple as that. You need to be looking to move forward all the time. And the way to move forward, and the way to move forward quickly, is to utilize other people, is to find other people, to help other people. The more people you help, the better you will become as a person, the more you will get noticed. So if you are a leader at the moment, you need to be asking yourself this question: how can you get your team to understand your vision? How can you get them to be excited about it? How can you get them to imagine what you want and work with you to create it and find common ground? How can you all benefit from it? That's what you need to be asking yourself, and you need to be getting your message out to them on a daily basis. It always has to be there. It always has to be communicated in some form or another. Even if it's just a short tagline at the end of an email when you email it to your team that reminds them, or if it's a a comment at the end of a meeting that reminds them of the vision, and ask for feedback, ask for questions. It's constantly got to be on their mind. It's constantly got to be on your mind. Everyone's got to understand it and believe in it and move forward with it. If you're not a leader, here's what you have to do. You have to look at everybody around you, and you've got to think to yourself in your mind, how can you get the best out of those people? How can they thrive? Because when you start helping others thrive and others do well, you get noticed. You may think, and I would have thought this ages ago, I don't want to help that person do well. I want to do well. I want to just concentrate on me and just literally do what I want to do, be the best I can be. But once I started focusing on other people and getting them to do well, then I started to get noticed. People saw me as a leader. They saw me as a problem solver. They saw me someone who cared, someone who wanted to help. And people are drawn to people like that. If you're selfish and if you're all about yourself and you're just literally in your own shell, people come away from that. I used to be like that. I used to be so secretive. I wouldn't tell anybody anything. It was the way I was brought up. Not so much by my parents, but certainly early in business. It was the way I was taught. Keep everything to yourself. Work on your own things. Do your own things. Don't tell anybody anything because they're going to steal your ideas. And that's what I did. I literally just kept everything to myself and never shared anything. No one noticed me. I was always the guy in the corner just trying to beaver away, just doing his own thing. No one noticed me. When I changed my tact and when I started to share and talk and ask questions and be interested and work with other people to get them to be the best they could be, people then was like noticing me. If someone come into the office and they was doing a talk, the first thing I would want to do is, how can I get the best out of this talker? How can I ask questions so they have a good time? How can I get them to relax? Because there's nothing worse than someone coming into an organisation and talking and clamming up and being nervous and not giving you what you need to get. But if you're that person, whether you've got it in your title or not, if you're that person that welcomes them in, engages with them, asks questions, be interested, sets them up for success, the people around you will notice you doing that, and then instantly you will be in their minds. And that's where you want to be. You want to be in people's minds. If you're not the leader, you want to be in the leader's minds, because they're always looking. A good leader is always looking to improve the team. How can we move forward? How can we get better? How can we do more? This person seems to be displaying the attributes we need. They seem to be caring. They seem to be getting the best out of people. They seem to want the group to succeed. When promotions are available, when leadership roles come up, who are they going to promote? Me, sitting in the corner working on my own little project, beavering away, not talking to anybody, keeping everything a secret? Or the other person who's engaging with everyone, who's bringing out the best in people, who's talking, who's asking questions, who's welcoming people, who's trying to drive the team forward? I don't need to answer that. It's obvious, isn't it? They're gonna all go for the second person, and that's where you want to be. You want to be in people's minds. So if you're the leader, you want to be there, asking the questions, getting your team to imagine the future, getting them to buy into it, getting them excited about it, and constantly reminding them of it. Constantly reminding them of your vision, because that way you'll all move forward. And if you're in that team and you're not quite the leader, you want to be the one who is also asking questions, also getting people excited, also welcoming people in, getting people to be set up for success, because then you'll get noticed. And that's how we become leaders. And I would encourage you, please, to try this, because too many people at the moment are doing nothing. Too many people are sitting there waiting for everything to go back to normal, thinking it's going to be okay, things will come back, industries will survive, it always works out in the end. And they're taking their furlough, they're not educating themselves, they're not progressing, they're not doing anything. They're going to be forgotten about. When redundancies come, they're going to go. If you're the one who's displaying positive attitude, wanting to get involved, wanting to progress, wanting to learn, wanting to bring out the best in other people, and more importantly, showing interest in other people, you're the one who's going to get in people's minds, and you're the one who's going to go on to do better things. So that's it for me. I will be back tomorrow. We'll continue with the leadership theme. I'll be back here with more leadership tips, and I hope you're enjoying it. As always, please comment below if you're liking the video, and if you want to know more information, give us a thumbs up. But even if it's not so good, you're not so interested in what I'm saying, or the delivery's not quite right, give it a thumbs down and let me know so I can improve. I'm always looking at improving as well. I'm always practicing what I preach, and I want to be the best I can possibly be for you and this YouTube channel. So let me know either way. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.